What's up, everybody? It's Jeremy here from Oceanbound, and today I wanted to talk about a wing that I've been demoing the last couple months. It's a VAYU 5-meter Aura 3 wing. From what I can tell, VAYU's been on the scene from, I guess, early on, but we don't really get that many VAYUs in this part of the world. So when my wing dealer Phil from kitesite.net reached out and asked me if I wanted to demo it, I just totally jumped at the chance. So huge thanks to Phil. He's been awesome supporting this channel. He's got awesome prices on all of your kite and wing needs and can ship anywhere. So this wing just looks sexy. I like it. But why am I so into this wing? It's because of the boom. Boom, baby. Boom. And it's not just like any boom, it's a click boom. So more on that in a minute. I guess the first question would be like, who is this wing designed for? And their website says it's a free ride and wave wing. So we can expect that it's gonna do everything pretty good. And when you throw a wave in there, that means that you can expect that it drifts well too. I'm going to talk about its construction for a little bit, and then I'll go into my thoughts at the end. So let's talk about materials. These guys use a Lula. It's not the whole leading edge, it's just really in the middle. And it's ultra light Alula. It's an Eris FX86. It's a cool looking composite material, which they say has the highest strength to weight ratio, stiffest ultra PE laminate in the market. So that's like the backbone. It's holding everything together. And the rest of the leading edge is made with this Dacron called DKC 160. So I take it that means it's 160 grams, which is similar to other, leading edges out there. The F1 V5 strikes use 158 grams in the same areas. They describe materials as having a direct and efficient power transmission and responsive and precise handling. The canopy is mostly 2x2 ripstop, and I'd say that's for most of the wing, and then the trailing edge has a 5x5 ripstop. This Tesian crazy rip 5x5 canopy fabric, and it's only really just a strip on the trailing edge. It's gonna be a lot stronger, more durable, and it means it'll stretch less too. They do say the combination of these two ripstops, the 2x2 and the 5.5 crazy ripstop, makes it stiffer, lighter, and more responsive than ever before. The windows are made with X-ply, which they say is light, stiff, and no deforming in cold or warm weather. The way that they're made with these kind of strips in them, it makes me feel like they're built really well. I certainly took them out in the cold water, very cold, and there were no changes. The canopy has this really cool design printed on it too. I kind of thought it was some fancy material at first, but it's really just part of the look and it looks good. The trailing edge has some battens. They're removable if you want. The wing is one pump, which makes it super convenient, and then this wing has a lot of handle options. It comes with soft handles, and they have hard handles, a carbon boom, and then now they have this click boom. So I tried the hard handles and I tried the click boom, and the click boom just got me stoked. The boom is made out of a highly stiff carbon tube. It's almost 1 meter long. It's got this grippy EVA, kind of coating to it, which is really nice. The outer diameter is 24.5 millimeters, which makes it relatively comfortable, I'd say, during longer sessions or, in the winter when I was wearing gloves. It didn't feel too big. The weight of the boom itself is 350 grams. It's 270 grams at the boom only, and then those little click-in modules that you can screw in, those are 40 grams each. The boom's available in the Aura 3 for sizes from 3 meters up to 5.5 meters. So having more than one wing, you could have 2 or possibly even 3 wings and just one boom that just makes everything all super efficient and kind of convenient. And then the weight of the wing, VAYU goes out of their way to say how light the boom is and everything, but then they don't list the overall weight of the wings on the website, or at least I couldn't find it. So I measured it. I came up with 5.84 pounds with the leash and the boom. And is that close to any other brands? It's almost exactly the same weight as my 5-meter V3 Mantis. It's just a hair less than a 2024 duotone unit 5 meter. It's a pound less than a 5 meter PPCM1, and it's about maybe a half a pound less than the V4 Strike with the boom. All right, so let's talk about some of the design characteristics quick. The website says, in terms of design, we've given the Aura a deeper profile for effortless early glide, superb drift and waves, reduced drag, enhanced acceleration, and greater upwind performance. The thinner and lighter leading edge wingtips translate into much easier pumping and incredible comfort and handling. I mean, that was a pretty good summary. The leading edge is relatively big in the center. It wasn't huge, but it just felt big, but it definitely tapered. It had a significant taper as it goes to the wingtips. And that bigger leading edge kind of gives it that deeper profile that they mentioned, which can give it more low-end scoop and power. They also say that gives it less drag when it comes to drifting. I'm not an aerodynamic expert, so that both makes perfect sense and doesn't make any sense in my head at the same time. The canopy is pretty tight, and they designed it to be like that, I think. You know, it did loosen up a little bit after, you know, the first few sessions, but all the wings do. So in general, I'd say it's on the tight side, and that was really nice for its power. The canopy definitely has a dihedral shape to it, which gives it gradual power when you pull in, and then obviously that's going to make it a good drifter, or it should. The wing kind of has like a downward scoop near its trailing edge, and that's good for power and stability as well. The strut, just for whatever it's worth, has an interesting design. It's not like a true like kind of kink, but it kind of indents in the center because I think that's where the handles go. So the boom obviously, you know, spans this whole indent, and it's pretty low. So in the front of the boom, when I had thick gloves on, 7mm lobster claw gloves in the winter, I couldn't actually get my hand through the front part of that boom. If you ride in the cold, you kind of know that like when your fingertips are really cold and or when your forearms are killing you, instead of holding on with your hands, it's sometimes nice just to give your whole grip a rest and put your hands all the way through the handles and just like ride with the wing on your wrists. I mean, that's just what I do. Well, I couldn't really do that with all my winter stuff on, so it's not the biggest deal, but it did affect me a little bit on like the coldest days. All right, so what do I think? It's an easy wing. It's predictable and it's intuitive, and there's not like any hot spots. It does everything well. It's got plenty of power when I need it. It's stable in the drift. The boom makes everything more fun. I mean, it's cool. I like it. You know, I did notice that there was a little bit of wingtip drag on this 5 meter, and it seems to do it more when overpowered. And I guess with the gust, it can kind of bring the wing forward and down a little bit. So if, you know, it was kind of crazy conditions and you weren't on your wing control, things could happen. The upwind was not bad. I used the VAYU in my kind of like upwind tests with the Cedrus mast and the Armstrong mast, and I thought it worked great. So it may not be like the absolute best for racing or like if you really need to crank up wind, but at the same time, I think it could probably hold its own. Jumping on it, it's totally fine. I didn't do any rotational jumps or anything like that with it, but I was getting decent height and decent hang time, so I was stoked. The drift on it was great, which is to be expected. With the dihedral, some wings can get a little weird, you know, and they kind of bob back and forth when you're drifting, especially if they're on the light side. And, you know, I'm happy to report that this one doesn't. It's a stable drifter. You know, the dihedral makes it smooth, and it's really balanced with that boom. It just likes, it kind of likes to fly there. And the whole time you're dragging the wing behind you, it feels really light in your hand at the same time. Being a wave wing makes things easy. That dihedral, just giving it like a predictable, progressive power, just kind of makes it ideal for beginners. But the materials, you know, and the design kind of give it plenty for like experienced riders to really get stoked about. I've been saying this for almost a year now, but I've been looking for like a light wing that's got good drift and like decent power and a boom. And honestly, this one just checks all the boxes. The click boom makes it easy for, you know, taking it off if you want to pack it up smaller or, you know, switching to another wing. All about that. I basically kept it on there the whole time. I didn't mind the, rolling the wing around it. I love the boom for everything now. I just feel like, wave riding especially, but I find myself riding one-handed a lot, and it's not just like a party trick. Like, it makes winging so much more fun and easy when you can just sit there with that wing like slightly powered up in your hand, And in the winter months, it's just so nice to be able to ride with like just enough power where you can like kind of warm up your other hands. My only feedback for the boom in general would be to pad the corners of the boom, because the edges, they're hard and they're not super sharp, but they're not that rounded either. So I'm a little worried about that damaging my board. And I did try the handles. It was fine, but I missed being able to put my hand where there wasn't a handle for like cranking up wind or one-hand riding. The leash is pretty good. They make a big point of saying it's produced in France. I find it's like a bit long, and there's one of those little like swivels that was on the end near the wing, and that was like I could hear it bouncing off the wing and stuff. The bag that it comes with is kind of long and skinny. It's a nice bag. I like packing wings in that kind of like longer, like not so much folding format. The only problem I have with it is the boom doesn't fit in the bag. So I have to zip the bag up to the boom, and it sticks out, I don't know, it's like 6 or 8 inches. So one last thing that's kind of worth mentioning is the cost. For this one, the cost is about $1,200 for a 5 meter, but a click boom would cost another $200 on top of that. The duotone float of the same size would be about $1,200, but that's with the boom. And the 2025 F1 Strike with the boom looks like it'd probably be under $1,350. But none of those wings have click booms, and this one also has a Lula, and the other ones I just mentioned don't. So last thoughts. I love the Aura 3. Like, seriously, I'm down. I could easily, make this like my go-to or build a quiver around these for the next year. I love the feel of it. I feel like it's super easy. Like I said, I've just wanted a light wing, drifts well, and has a decent amount of power with the boom, and this one just checks all of those boxes. And I love the boom. I love everything about it. I love riding with it. I love the way it's changing my riding. I'm sending this one back to my wing dealer because he really wants to ride it. And so a huge thanks to my buddy Phil at kitesite.net for sending this over for a thorough demo. Hit him up for all your kite surfing and windsurfing needs. And that's it. Fun stuff's coming up, everyone. I've got a new F1 Strike 5 meter with a Lula and a boom, and I'm going to be riding that for the next couple weeks, and a momentum foil. So huge thanks to F1 for sending all of that stuff over. And I just got a new float too, so I'll be covering that soon as well. So if you want to see some more of my videos and you haven't done so already, you can always click that subscribe button, drop me a comment, ask me questions, just say hi. I love talking to you guys from all around the world. It's been so awesome getting to know you all. And with that, I hope all of you are doing well out there. See you soon on the flip. I wish you all an awesome day. Later.